We're going to try something a little different, a little in person and also with clips, so let's get right into it. The Boston Bruins played the San Jose Sharks, and I don't think this is a crazy outcome. The Bruins win 3-1. Scoring would start off with Brad Marchand, and this originated from a very smart play from Matthew Patra, keeping it in the zone towards the end of a shift, has the Bruins maintain offensive position, throws it down low. Eventually, Beecher would get on the ice. Beecher would throw it to Marchand, and Marchand rifles that past Kakinen. Bruins are up 1-0. And this was late in the first period because the Bruins, they had some nice opportunities, weren't able to bury it. But guess what? 21 seconds later, JVR just gets a greasy one. Frederick and Coyle would both get assists on this one. And some people thought, hey, you should review this. He's forcing the pad in. But the puck was loose. I think that was a clean goal. Bruins go up 2-0, go into the second period. And the only scoring in the second is David Pastrnak goal. And Carlo got an assist on this, but wasn't a snipe, a very funny play. Just him falling, tripping, and it finding a way to go in the net. And the Bruins go up 3-0. The Bruins kind of dominated the Sharks at times, but the Sharks would have some surges, especially in the third period. Anthony Duclair would get kind of a wonky goal. I believe it went off a Bruins defender, 3-1. But late in that third period, when they got that extra man, the Bruins could not get it out of their own zone. They kept trying to go for that empty net goal, missing wildly. Charlie McAvoy would make a really nice pass to Marchand in the neutral zone. He would turn it over. It was just not a good look. Marchand on the back check would hook the guy that was kind of going across the slot. And they had a good 6-on-4 chance, but nothing really came of it. Bruins managed to win this 3-1. So what do I think? The third line stuck out to me. Frederick, Coyle, and JVR. They all play kind of a similar style, and they're all bigger. And I just like that skill set for a guy like Coyle, who's a very big puck possession guy. Sometimes in the top six, especially playing with like DeBrusque or other skilled wingers, I feel like Coyle slows it down a bit too much. He doesn't really mesh with their play style. Where in that third line, it looked really good. I'd have to say it looked really good. Another note I'd have to make out of this name is Patra. He looked okay. Not his greatest performance, kind of middling performance. Some good flashes, but then looked a little bit overmatched. And I don't know if that's because, big West Coast trip, maybe he had to get adjusted. But for, good 2 out of 3 games, I'm not really worried about it. He's a rookie. If he bounces back, I'm completely fine with it. But it is something to note. If he struggles in his next game, 2 good games, 2 kind of mediocre games, maybe he goes back to the OHL. And the last note up front, I like the fourth line. I like the fourth line really on this team quite a bit. Beecher, I think he's an upgrade over Nosek. I think Lauko has a nice hustle and grind to him. And Lucic, while can't control some passes, and that gets a bit frustrating. I don't know if it's just a lack of attention at times, if you just get caught up watching the play as it develops. But they all kind of just mesh with each other, and they just a very good fourth line to play against and throw out there against solid lines. So, yeah, I've liked what I've seen thus far, and I'm glad the Bruins decided to go with some youth in that fourth line center. Beecher looks like a solid fourth line center right now. And as for the defense, I think Lindholm had the best game of his season thus far. I know it's very young, it's only 3 games in, but he looked really steady. In comparison to sometimes he looked shaky in the other games. And the strength of this team is going to be the defense. They have a lot of talent. You have McAvoy, you have Lindholm, you have Grzelcyk, you have Carlo, you have Forbort, you have Shattenkirk. And that's another guy that I was a little bit iffy on, Shattenkirk. I wasn't completely sold on him, but thus far, I think he looks just fine in a bottom pairing situation. And then Linus Ullmark, 26 saves on 27 shots against. I really can't be mad about that. The Bruins were the far more dominant team, but there is some offensive zone concerns. I think against a team like the Sharks, I'm not trying to belittle them. They're just in a complete rebuild. This is a team that, if you're an upper echelon team, you should be destroying. So, 3-1, they're a professional hockey team. I'm not trying to undersell their talent, but with the current situation they are with their roster, it does concern me with the Bruins still at times not being able to just bury the puck home. And as for the Sharks, this is a rebuild. They're going through it. Yeah, they have some really good talent on this roster with some players like Hurdle. They brought in Duclair, but it's going to take them a few years to really be at a level where they're a playoff team, and it's just going to take patience. And it's kind of a shame because I love those San Jose Shark jerseys, one of my all-time favorites, but I think it's just going to take a little bit of time. But for me, main takeaway, JVR having a tremendous start to this season. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Who stood out to you the most in this game? I'm Captain Paul. I'll see you in the next one.
Stay tuned for the post-game show.